What's up, 7 Elements crew? Welcome to your on-demand workout with your host, me, Anthony. Now, in terms of equipment, we're going to need a mini band, and then we'll get started with our warm-up. Now, first 3 exercises that we do are going to be about 45 seconds long, and for the rest, 30 seconds total. Very first exercise that we work through, some more dynamic stretching, is going to be a plank arm circle. So we're alternating both sides. Your hands start about shoulders width distance apart, feet about hips width distance apart. You drive down into one hand, then bring that opposite arm all the way up and around, trying to get through the full range of motion in your shoulder, while also trying to keep your hips squared down to the floor. Keep breathing as we do this, and if for some reason it's not working from that high plank position, you can start to do it from your knees as well, still getting those same benefits, really trying to get some fresh blood flow back to the shoulders, and then challenge some core strength as well. At about 3 seconds, moving on to that next exercise. We're getting into a gate pose. Put right hand down to the floor, right knee down to the ground. Left hand starts to reach all the way up and over. And so we feel that stretch all along that left side body. So from hip all the way up towards armpit. And we go ahead and come back to center, reset. Go ahead and try it out again. Now you're more than welcome to stay in that position and just continue that reach and stretch. Now you'll notice too that left foot is pressing down just as much as left arm is starting to reach all the way up and over. So we're creating that equal opposition as we continue. Breath in as you come back to center. Breath out as you plant hand down, reach and stretch to the other side. Now 3 seconds again, we'll start to switch it over. So opposite side, you can go ahead and start that right now. This time we put right foot out to the side. Right hand reaches all the way up and over. So we put that left hand down to the floor. Extend your arm. And notice too, bicep framing ear. That's what we want. If you find that your hand is reaching off to the side or literally directly out in front of you, try and bring that bicep to touch your ear, then start to reach and expand your fingertips a little bit further. Now, just like last side, we press down through right foot just as much as we're reaching with that right hand. So again, creating that equal opposition for your stretch. Let's get in just a few more and get into that final exercise, that final one that we're doing for 45 seconds before we move on. 3, 2, 1. And the next thing that we do is going to be an alternating bird dog. So go ahead and start on your hands and knees. Tabletop position, shoulders over wrists, feet about, or knees, hips width distance apart. We're going opposite hand, opposite leg. So left arm goes out long, right leg extends back behind. Then gently place that hand and knee back down to the floor. Then go ahead and switch it over to your other side. Right arm extends out long, left heel presses towards the back. And we can start to go in between both sides, getting into upper back, getting into glute, all throughout core. 10 more seconds here, and then again moving on. Draw your belly up and in real tight. Maintain that strong, steady breath throughout, still getting some of those active mobility, those active stretches in. And now moving on to that very first 30-second exercise. I'm going to be hitting that left side right now, so get your left elbow in real tight. Now, you bring that band right in between your pointer finger and thumb. Think opposite hand to opposite shoulder, so that right hand should be pressing against left shoulder. Now, left elbow should be locked against your rib cage, and you're pressing that hand straight down towards the floor. We get a 90-degree bend to the elbow. That doesn't move. Your elbow stays in position. Only your hand gets closer and further away from that 90-degree, that center position. Let's go ahead and switch it over to that other side. So just switching the grip on the band. Now, it's in between the pointer finger and thumb of left hand. Your right arm is the one that's pressing down. So feeling this in triceps, those muscles directly on the back of your arm. Roll your shoulder up and back. Relax your shoulders. Press down into your feet. Squeeze your inner thighs together. And then again, you'll notice from that side angle, elbow stays locked in place. Only my hand is getting closer towards my feet and further away from them as I go back and forth. Exhale on that press down. Inhale on that. And when you come back. Next move, friends. We come into a tabletop position. Make sure our mini band is over wrists. And we're getting into some pull-aparts. So gently reach your hand wider than shoulders width distance, and then carefully lift your hand off the floor, bring it back to center. Now we want to maintain that hand shoulders width distance apart the entire time. And as we do that, we maintain resistance on the band. So we increase that time under tension, and we start to get a little bit more outer portion of the shoulder, as well as that front portion and your core. Next move, crew, we'll meet on our backs. Just going into a traditional crunch. Low back stays sealed to the floor, and if for some reason you feel like it's lifted off, suck your belly in as tightly as you can. I want you to imagine you're bringing your belly button towards your spine. Should feel your back line up firmly against the floor. Now I want you to imagine you have a string attached to your chest, and it's lifting your chest a little bit higher towards the ceiling. So we're lifting up, 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 rather than just bringing head closer to knees. You got 4, 3, 2, 1. Moving on, getting into a reverse crunch. You can keep your hands lightly behind your ears. You extend your legs out long, pull your knees back towards your chest. Now, for some reason you feel like here your low back is arching off the ground, we just lift our legs up a little bit higher. So you'll notice I'm almost coming straight out, a little bit lower towards the floor. Lift your legs up higher than that, and you'll find your low back sealed to the ground. 5 seconds left. Let's get a couple more in. 3, 2, 1. Now combining those two moves that we just did, that traditional crunch and that reverse crunch, moving on to a double crunch. So we bring our elbows to touch our knees, we extend out and reach our upper torso and extend through your lower torso. Then bring it all together at the top. Breathe in, that's when we find that extension. Breathe out, that's when we contract and squeeze everything together. Stay with it. 5 seconds to go. 2, 1. Next move, just working into a little back bend. So first things first, roll your shoulders up and back. Feet should be about hips width distance apart. Now you'll notice that I'm starting to lift up, 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 and out of low back. A lot of times I like to place my hands to low back for support. This is something you can do as well. Bring your gaze right up towards the ceiling and start to walk it all along it, continuing to reach up, 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 and out. And maybe we even begin to look directly behind. Slowly come back to center. Now we're done with that warm-up. Next thing we got to get into is the rest of our workout. 3 different exercises, 30 seconds at each as we run through. Now we'll meet me in a tabletop position, shoulders over wrists, knees right down to the floor. And you'll notice as we get into this push-up, hips are pressed forward, belly's drawn up and in. You bend your elbows back behind you, more of that tricep push-up. If for some reason the push-up isn't happening, meet me in a forearm plank. Get your shoulders over your elbows, feet about hips width distance apart. Keep pushing out through your heels. Finally, if you'd like, you can always do that push-up from full plank, slowly lowering down with control, gently pushing away at the top. All right, crew, flip on over to your backs. Get your elbows out wide. Now we're moving into our bicycle sit-up. So low back stays sealed to the ground. 90-degree bend in knees. You extend one leg out long. Bring opposite elbow to opposite knee. So for example, right knee to left elbow, left knee to right elbow. Get your hands behind your ears. Try and avoid interlacing your hands behind your head. If you'd like a little bit more, you're more than welcome to straighten out your legs and go for a scissor kick, taking it right and left side. Awesome. Moving on. Getting into our Supermans. We'll roll over onto our stomach and lift your arms and legs up off the floor. Squeeze your shoulder blades back behind. Flex your glutes. Can you lift your heels a little bit higher? Drive your low belly and pelvis area down into the ground as we reach and extend through that back line of the body. You got 3. You got 2. On 1, we've got a little rest. So you've got 60 seconds of rest. We're moving on to our second round. Now this is your time to grab a sip of water, to roll out your shoulders, to get a quick counter stretch in your wrists. We do a lot of typing, texting, driving, and if you do any other push workouts throughout the week, it's important to get that counter stretch in the wrists. So feel free to flip your palms, push them against one another, just gently feeling that pressure. Maybe taking some circles around to the right, around to the left, and then maybe taking a few more shoulder rolls as well. So this is also your time to kind of reevaluate where you are and how you're feeling in this moment right now to prepare you for that next one. You've got about 12 seconds to go, and we're moving on to round 2. Not too much water, just enough. And let's go again in 5, in 4, in 3, 2, 1. It's time to get started getting back to our push-ups again from your plank or from your knees. Notice our backs aren't arched too much. We've got our hips pressed forward, got our belly drawn in tight, so core is fully activated. Now, a couple different ways to make this challenging, right? Not just in doing that high plank push-up or in holding that forearm plank. If we want to do our push-up from knees, we can actually increase the number of reps that we do, right? So we increase our speed of movement while maintaining quality, and you can do that same thing from your high plank push-up. 5 seconds, moving on, about to roll over onto our backs. In 3, 2, 1, that bicycle sit-up. Go ahead and get it started. Again, elbows out real wide. Don't want to see them in our peripheral vision. That way we focus more on getting that elbow all the way up and over to the knee rather than simply bringing that knee to elbow. So we can increase that distance that we have to reach up and over for, challenging your obliques and lower abs even further. Again, if you'd like to continue onward, you straighten out your legs, push out through your heels, give me that scissor kick for the remainder of our time. And that's it. We roll back over into our plank position. Come on down to the floor. Extend your arms out in front. Superman's round 2. Can you lift your arms up a little bit higher? Again, squeezing your shoulder blades back behind. You will feel this in upper back, in mid back, in lower back. Glutes still flexing. Can you drive your heels a little higher to the sky? 9 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, come back, take a rest. That's the end of round 2. Moving on to round 3. So again, your opportunity to kind of rest and reevaluate where you're at. Think about maybe this time how many reps you did on that last circuit. If you were super excited about it and you like those numbers, then maybe this time we try and meet that same goal. So if, hey, we did 5 in that 30 seconds, if we did 3, if we did 6, if we did 8, great. I'm going to challenge you to maintain that same number on this next round. Added challenge if you'd like to try for one more than you did that previous round. Show yourself something. This is your time right now. Make the most of it. We've got about 15 seconds left before we get started again. Another quick sip of water, another quick shoulder roll. Time for you to reaffirm that you've got this, that you're strong, that you're powerful, that you're capable, and let's get back into it. In 4, in 3, 2, 1, start it up. Back to our push-up from plank, from knees, or holding that forearm plank. Another option as well is to hold that high plank, still challenging your chest, triceps, and shoulders. If you're holding that forearm plank, continue to bring your shoulders over your elbows. And notice if you're shifting really far forward or really far back, putting a little bit more strain on your shoulders. We're trying to stack our joints to make sure that we can find that solid and stable position to hold from. 5 more seconds. Getting ready to get on our backs for our bicycle sit-up in 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and get started. Again, notice if your low back is coming off the ground. If it's arching a lot, don't extend your legs as far. So notice how low mine are getting to the floor. Maybe we come up a little bit higher. And that's an opportunity for you. Want to make sure that no matter what we're doing throughout, we're able to maintain that quality and control that we want to stay safe while we're doing these exercises. 4, 3, 2, 1. Flip over. We get onto our bellies. Arms and legs extend out long in opposition. And again, getting into that Superman round 3. Now, what are you going to do to continue challenging yourself here? Can you hold up for an extra second and really feel that squeeze and that contraction? Can you slowly lower yourself back down to the floor? Again, with control. Either way, we've got 8 seconds left. Yes, you can. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And done. Moving on to round 4. Last one we do here. Giving it everything we have. So again, reevaluating what it is that we're going to do right here, right now. How am I going to show myself something? whether that be in slowing my movements down. Maybe it's focusing on your breathing as we do this. It's important to make that mind to muscle connection, that mind to body connection as we work through it. Once we can establish a rhythm with our breath and our movement, these movements, these exercises become a little bit easier. Now, notice I didn't say easy. They're still going to be challenging. Of course, that's just the nature of it. But once you start to connect that breath to that movement, we get that rhythm. We feel more comfortable with it, especially moving into that final round here. Okay, 10 seconds left. And then we do this thing. So we start in 6, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, begin. Back to hands and knees, getting ready to do our push-ups from knees if we like. We're moving onwards, doing it from our forearm plank, or finally getting into that high plank push-up. Spread your fingertips out real wide, press down through that pointer finger and thumb, that L shape of the palm, and then equally distribute that weight. If we're down into forearm plank, again, feet about hips width distance apart, and know that whether you're doing that forearm plank or high plank push-up, the wider you bring your feet, the more stable your base is going to be. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On your backs, getting ready for that bicycle sit-up. Let's go ahead and start it. 30 seconds, it's fast. An opportunity to maybe pick up your pace on this one if you'd like. If you love bicycle sit-ups, you're like, hey, this is my jam right now. Go ahead, pick up the pace for the final one. More than halfway there. Can you maintain? And maybe for this last 10 seconds, you go for scissor kicks. You do it. Straighten out your legs. Keep rocking it. Just for 4, 3, 2, 1. You know we're going for that Superman. Let's get there. Chest off the floor. Can you lift it up even higher? Breath in. Breath out. That's when we lift. Slowly lower back down. And if you'd like to get a couple more reps in, now's the time to do it. Lift it up, lower down. Maybe you go a little bit quicker than even I'm moving. 9 seconds left. Can we get at least 3 more? Get that last one in. You got 2, 1. Rest. Okay. Next thing we do, we got a whole nother circuit for you, but take the rest that you need now. A whole minute, right? And then we're moving on to that next circuit. So, just like we've done every previous rest, you breathe in, you breathe out, get yourself ready to go mentally and physically. So, of course, you can do those shoulder rolls, you can do those wrist rolls, you can stretch out your chest a little bit more, stretch your triceps. But this is also a time to get yourself mentally prepared for our next circuit and our final circuit. Reminding yourself, again, that reaffirmation, super important. Yes, I can. I've got this. Flip the script right now. Remind yourself, I'm capable, I'm strong, I'm powerful, and I've got everything that I need within me right now to move forward with the rest of our workout. 8 seconds, and then we'll start talking about it a little bit more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Moving on, that next circuit, 3 different exercises, still 4 rounds through, starting with that mini band. Go ahead and grab it. We're going to put it directly over our wrists and come into a lat pull down. So we bring that band right down in line with our shoulders, your thumbs in line with shoulders. You're squeezing your shoulder blades back behind you. Notice, feet are about hips width distance apart. It's exactly where we want them to be. Drive down into your heels, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your inner thighs together. Not too much of an arch to your back. We're trying to mimic that pull-up movement. So working into the lats, that swimmer's muscle, outside edge of torso and on back. Got 3, 2, 1. Moving on. Get into your tabletop position, shoulders over wrist, hips over knees. And we're doing some alternating shoulder taps. Tap right hand to left shoulder, slowly put it down. Tap left hand to right shoulder. Again, slowly put it down so we can move back and forth between these. Doesn't have to be super slow. You can take it a little bit quicker as well. From high plank, feet about hips width distance apart. And like we talked about earlier, you can always bring your feet wider, more like that tripod stance for a more stable base. Moving on, getting into some bicep curls. Your bottom hand is going to push against hip and thigh while right hand starts to curl. So left hand is holding the mini band. Right hand is the one doing that curling. Get your elbow locked in against your rib cage. Pull your hand as close to your shoulder as you can get it. Elbow in tight. It doesn't move. Notice if your elbow's coming forward as you do this and you're feeling this more in your shoulder. That's when we need to adjust. Try again. 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead and switch it over to that other side. Now, left arm is the one doing that curl. Elbow in tight. Want you to focus on squeezing and flexing as hard as you possibly can. Again, squeezing and flexing as hard as you possibly can at the top. Maybe you hold it there for a couple seconds and then slowly lower back down. So maybe you hold it up there for the count of 3, for the count of 2, on 1, then lower it down. Now do it again. Keep that up. Got 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a rest. So again, 60 seconds here. 3 completely different exercises. Moving on to our second round, our second quarter here. Now, this is the time for those shoulder rolls that we talked about before. We did some shoulder taps earlier, so maybe feeling it in chest, in triceps, in core. Those are what we have to use to maintain our posture, our control, and our stability while we're working. And then maybe your biceps are really starting to feel it after that first round. Well, guess what? We've got more to do, and I know you've got it. More than halfway through that rest period, moving on, getting into that second round right after this. Remember, we got to hit the right and the left arm for that bicep curl. Let's try and keep our band as low as we can and maintain our quality on that curl as we bring our hand closer to our shoulder throughout. All right, crew, we got 8 seconds and we're doing this thing in 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get started, team. So first things first, lat pull down. Again, mini band over wrists. Bring your thumbs right in line with shoulders like we talked about earlier. If for some reason you feel like you're arching your back a lot, another opportunity for you is to actually stagger your stance. So bring one foot out in front of the other. Stagger that stance. Give yourself a solid base to pull from. Again, looking at it from that side angle, not arching too much. Bringing hands in line with shoulders, squeezing shoulder blades back behind as we do this too. You got 6 seconds left, and we're moving on. Getting some shoulder taps in 3, in 2, in 1. Get that started, either from your knees or from that high plank that we'll see in just a moment. So notice I'm going slow, I'm going controlled. When you do this, one side is going to want to rotate up. You're trying to keep your hips rotated down towards the floor. And that way we get those obliques involved, those rotational muscles, helping us stay stable the entire time. Again, high plank also an option, and you can pick up your speed from here. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're back up to our feet, getting ready for our curl. First, the right arm doing that curling. Now, you'll notice I have that green band. If you have a heavier resistance and you were using lighter before, now is the time to start picking up the resistance on that band. And of course, we can continue to increase that resistance by lowering it. Now, if your arm's fully extended, that's the end range. So again, if you have a band that's a little bit higher resistance than what you were using before, now is the time to use it. And it's your opportunity to up the ante. Moving on to that other arm. So now we're doing left side. Again, 30 seconds. It's quick. Just like we were doing earlier, want to make sure that that elbow is locked in against rib cage. It's not flaring out to the side. You're not moving it forward. At least not too much. It may happen a little bit naturally if you're getting towards the end range of that curl and your hand is almost to shoulder. But otherwise, trying to keep that thing locked in as best as we can. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Okay. Second rest. Moving on to our third round. Third quarter is that moment where the coach has already given the speech. Both teams are feeling it. You know what's going on. You're a pro at this point. So we're comfortable with what we're doing. And again, we reevaluate what it is that our goal is for this round. Are we trying to get one extra rep in? Are we trying to maintain that quality throughout? So maybe we're a little slower. Are we past that 1 rep mark and we want to actually just increase our reps throughout? So we actually increase the speed of our movement. If you can maintain that control, I challenge you to do that. And then, of course, that final thing, are we trying to make that mind to muscle, that mind to body connection? That's an awesome goal to have. Make that connection on this third round. You got 5 seconds, then we go. 4, 3, 2, 1, and start. So again, mini band goes over wrists. You know what you're doing here. Staggered stance like we talked about before, maybe 1 foot in front of the other, or just like you see, feet hips width distance apart. Now still driving down into heels, still squeezing inner thighs together. That way I can focus on what's going on in my upper torso. Roll your shoulders up and back. Draw your belly in. Make sure we're breathing as we do this. Breath in, you reach up. Breath out, we squeeze and flex down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Meet me either in that plank position or in tabletop, getting ready for your shoulder taps. Now, for some reason, something's going on with your wrist at this point. Make a fist. And if you can put your hands down to a soft surface, that's definitely recommended. If for some reason the surface you're on is extremely hard or abrasive, then I'd recommend just coming back to your high plank position or hands down to the floor. Another option, of course, in this third round is to hold that forearm plank just like we did before. Moving on, getting right into that curl, right side, mini band in hand. Start that curl, pull, slowly lower. Get it up a little bit quicker, hold it up there. Again, slowly lower back down. Elbow in a little tighter. Bring that smile to your face. Getting ready to move on to our left side too. Already more than halfway through. 7, 6, 5, 4. One more. 3, 2, 1. Let's switch it over to the other side. Finishing up round 3. Closing off round 3 with a bang. Giving it everything we have right now. Now is not the time to stop. Now is the time to keep going. To again tell yourself, I got this. $15 in, 15 to go. Should be able to get 3 more curls in, maybe 4, maybe 5 if you're feeling extra speedy and you're maintaining that quality. 3, 2, 1, rest. Hey, guess what? We made it. Our 4th and final round coming up. So again, this is your time for reevaluation. This is your time to grab a quick sip of water. This is your time to get your shoulder rolls in, to roll your wrists out, to get that counter stretch in them, to roll out or get a nice little back stretch. Hold on to something out in front of you, and then round forward. That feels real nice. Stretch out through the neck. We've got about 25 seconds left right now at this moment. Get ready to do it. 3 exercises left. That's it, and we are done for the day. Again, give it everything that you have. Not an ounce of energy left behind for these exercises because you gave it your all. In 8 seconds, we're there. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get started, team. Getting into our lat pull down. Now 4 rounds is quite a few. There may be a little bit of fatigue going on at this point. And this is where our form and our quality are extremely important. Maintain it. If you gotta slow down, please. Make sure that we're doing it with the best form that we possibly can so we can make sure we can get back and do these things again. 3, 2, 1. Switch it up. Come on down to the floor. Getting into our shoulder taps. Again, from knees or from that plank position, you know what to do. You are an absolute pro at this point. You've done this more than enough times, and you're feeling strong coming into that last round. You're telling yourself, this is easy. I got this. I've already done it 3 times. What's a 4th time? 8 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Getting into those last 2 curls. Grab the band. Again, if you have some heavier resistance, great. Go ahead and use it. And if this is the heavy resistance right now, maintain. Got this right side to get through, and then just the left side. I know you can do this. 10 seconds left, and then we're moving on. 7, 6, 5, 4. To the other side in 3, 2, 1. Now's the time. Make the quick switch and get into your curls. Come on. Already 10 seconds in. Stay strong with it. Remember, this is not the time to slow down. This is the time to pick it up, both mentally and physically. The final exercise of your day, 9 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Awesome work today, team. Thank you so much for being here with me. Again, I'm Anthony. And make sure you get a good stretch in before you meet us on the next one. Get some water, get some good food. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye, everybody.